Ariana Grande's new song debuted at #1, making it the first time the singer has had a chart topper. And The Weeknd announces his new album called Chapter 6. Here to break down all of this for us is iHeartRadio Ambassador Patrick Langlois. Patty Lang, welcome back to the show. We're going to start with Ariana Grande. Are you surprised that she's topping the charts?
Well, surprised. It is a good song, but it's always surprising when an artist puts out a song that shoots up straight to #1. In fact, Ariana Grande is the first female to do it since Adele did it in 2015 with Hello. So that's always surprising. And it's actually hard to make it all the way to the top of the Billboard Hot 100. Now, I know there's a bunch of different charts out there, radio, airplay, pop songs, but the Hot 100 is the coveted one. It's the one that encompasses sales, streaming, and radio play. And Ariana Grande has her 35th entry with this song that shoots up straight to #1, so that's pretty impressive. And she did it in a record amount of time because Billboard tabulates the data from Friday to Thursday. Ariana Grande released the song late Saturday night, just over a week ago, and so she cut off 48 hours of stats for herself, and the stats were pretty impressive. 55 million streams, 81,000 downloads, making it the biggest streaming debut for a female ever. A little perspective, obviously all these streaming records are fairly new. You're not competing against the Beatles, but it is written in history as of right now.
But a lot of big name artists have never had a #1 hit, and I shudder to think that this is a reality, but it includes the Backstreet Boys. Tell me why.
Well, I feel like you're already going to know this, Ben, since it sounds like you've got a doctorate in Backstreet Boys history. But the Backstreet Boys have had 6 top 10 hits. They've never made it to #1. The closest that they've gone is #2 with Quit Playing Games With My Heart over 22 years ago in 1996. Their 1999 single, I Want It That Way, spent 3 weeks at the #1 on the radio charts, but at the time, it was never a commercial single that was released, and so there's no sales data for Billboard to add to that, and so they did not make it to #1. So they've never had a Hot 100 hit. Maybe 2018 is their year, though. They just released a brand new song called Chances that was co-written by Canada's own Shawn Mendes and One Republic's Ryan Tedder. And they just announced a huge tour, brand new album. Their 10th album comes out January 25th. It's called DNA. Their 70-day tour hits Canada. There's 7 shows in Canada next July. Basically, any Canadian city with an NHL team arena is getting a visit from the boys.
No #1 hits. I blame Lou Pearlman. All right, Bruce Springsteen doesn't have a #1 hit. We got a bunch of people aghast in this studio.
That's right. He's collected a dozen top 10 hits, but the #1 still eludes him. He's gone also to #2 with the smash hit Dancing in the Dark from his Born in the USA album. That song got stuck at #2 for 4 weeks behind Prince's When Doves Cry. But I guess Springsteen can take solace in the fact that he's written a #1 song. Manfred Mann's Earth Band's cover of Blinded by the Light topped the charts in 1997. So he wrote the song, but it wasn't him who got the #1.
All right, really quickly, Nicki Minaj, another artist who's reached the #2 spot.
Yeah, and she proves how hard it is to get to #1 because just last week she broke a record. She had her 100th Hot 100 entry. She's had 100 songs, either as a guest or as a main performer, hit the Hot 100, never to #1. The closest she's been to is, again, #2 with Anaconda.
All right, Mr. Ambassador, before we go, The Weeknd had an announcement when he was touring in Toronto. What did he have to say?
Yeah, he's had 3 #1 hits, by the way. The Weeknd, who earlier this year scrapped a super great album, he said he had a happy, upbeat album that he just wasn't feeling, but he said while he was in Toronto, he spent a few days there, and he got really inspired and put the final touches on his next album that should be coming out any day. We'll never know, especially now in 2018, you can just drop an album. It's called Chapter 6. His latest, Starboy, came out in 2016, so we're due for some new music from The Weeknd.
Patrick Langlois, thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you.